And welcome back to another edition of Ultimate Politics down here at Mile High Sports Radio. With me today is Rich Pelletier. Rich, welcome to the show.
Well, great pleasure to be here. Thank you, Ed.
Rich, here, you work with America Votes, is that correct?
That's correct.
And what do you do down there at America Votes?
Sure. Well, I'm the state director for America Votes. America Votes is a coalition, a national coalition of almost 40 different progressive organizations who do different works around the elections, be that registering voters, getting out the vote. We're in 14 states now. We came to Colorado in 2006, so we have staff in 14 states from Florida and Virginia and New Hampshire all the way out to Nevada. We expect our Secretary of State, who is the administrator of the elections in the state of Colorado, the ultimate authority, to be above partisan politics. There's a pattern of injecting partisan politics into the Secretary of State's office, and that really is not. It's not the place. You know, this is he's almost like the Catherine Harris of Colorado here. You know, it's not an office that should be used to affect partisan gains. He's trying to use this office to disenfranchise a good portion of the electorate in Colorado. I think it's a fundamental tenet of being an American that we enfranchise and that we want people to vote. We want people to participate in the electoral politics. The situation we're getting into now is that we are systematically making it difficult for people to be able to exercise their God-given right, you know, their constitutional right to choose who they think should be the next president of the United States, the next U.S. senator from Colorado down to the state legislature, down to ballot initiatives. It's really just, it's fundamentally un-American and fundamentally unpatriotic.
And criminal. I've worked in registering people to vote, and of all the people that I've talked to this year that have said, this is going to be my first time voting, and we're not talking about just young kids, we're talking about middle-aged senior citizens, people who have just never felt like it was worth their time to get involved, or have said to me, I'm going to vote this time. And to think that their vote, their one time of voting, maybe their only time in their lifetime for some of the older residents, could be taken away because Mike Kaufman said, you know what, I'm going to make this rule so that these people can't be counted.
I'm going to make this rule, and then I'm going to misinform the folks who are doing, you know, God's work, the work of the angels out there, registering folks, getting them to vote, you know, and I'm not going to tell them that this is what needs to be done. I mean, that's really, I think, the worst part of all of this is the proactive decision to misinform folks who are doing this work out there. Another huge hypocrisy in all of this is that, you know, the Secretary of State is also an officer in the National Guard who has served in Iraq, who theoretically was fighting for this country to preserve the very rights that he is taking away from citizens right now. You know, I mean, so I'm an Army veteran. I served in the first Iraq War, you know, and every person who serves in the military is serving there right now, today, because they are there to preserve the rights that we have as Americans. You know, be this a just war or not, be this the right war or not, the folks who are fighting there are there for the right reasons. They're there because they love this country, they're there because they love what this country stands about, and to have a man who has led troops into battle for the purpose of protecting our rights.
And to give Iraqis the chance to vote themselves.
Yeah, just how hypocritical is that? How hypocritical is that?
Kaufman, man, what nerve. You know, I have honor, you know, I have respect for his service to the country, but to come back and do this, it's just completely backwards.
I couldn't agree more. There's no question in my mind that this was if this was the first thing that happened in this administration, in the Secretary of State's office, that seemed partisan, I might be willing to chalk it up to the fact that, you know, well, let's fix it. But then going back, and folks have been negotiating, talking with the Secretary of State and trying to get him to change or to suspend the rules or change the rules and instruct the clerks to accept these applications. He is unwilling to do that. and he's unwilling to do that because I think he knows exactly what the outcome that this potentially will have for the election. What needs to be done now is we need to sue the Secretary of State's office, or someone needs to do it in order to get the courts to intervene. Because it's not a question of putting someone in jail or giving them a fine at this point. It's a question of someone taking action, some authority taking action that overrules these violations of the law.
After this year, the role of who administers elections should be done by something that cannot be by committee instead of a one partisan person in office, and that needs to be a federally mandated law, because this has got to stop. But in addition to that, if they really want to help people vote, they should make the first Tuesday of November a national holiday. Maybe move Veterans Day, or maybe not Memorial Day, but move some of the other holidays to the first Tuesday in November. And if you vote early, then you can take a 4-day weekend or something. That'll be your reward. The Secretary of State's office is his phone number, Mike Kaufman's phone number, is 303-894-2200. That's 303-894-2200. Our Governor Ritter, to get involved, his number is 303-866-2471. That's 866-2471. And finally, Denver DA Mitch Morrissey, a fine DA, he actually has prosecutorial power here to bring forward charges. Mitch Morrissey's phone number is 720-913-9000. That's 720-913-9000. So put some pressure on all three of those people, particularly, though, Mike Kaufman's office. Rich, thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for spreading the word.
And we're going to hopefully keep democracy alive and strong here in Colorado. And remember, as always, you can tune in on Saturdays and check out Ultimate Politics, and you can always email me, wade@ultimatepolitics.net. As always, I'm your host, Wade Norris here, downtown Denver, 1510 AM, Mile High Sports Radio, and we'll see you next time.